Happy Friday, everybody. What's cooking? How's everybody doing today? Just hanging out here. Pissing off my neighbors. But I'm not here by myself. You know what? I am here by myself for now because I want to show this to everybody. And I don't even know if my co-host, well, let's just call him my little buddy. Let's see. I don't even know if he knows the hat I'm wearing. It's the 2019 MLS World Cup Seattle Sounders hat with the snapback sticker on it. Probably only about 20 in existence. And I've got one of them. I was there when they beat Toronto. But listen, I'm not by myself. I got the man, the myth, the legend, Kevincho!
Oh, no Brazilian comments today, Chad. It's going to be a good stream. What's up,
I don't
guys?
know. My favorite Argentinian with the Brazilian nickname. It's Kevincho. Right. What's up, dude? Good to see you as always.
Nice hat, Jimmy.
Thank you very much.
I love it.
Collector's item.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. How did that go? It was a good year for Seattle, I'm assuming?
They won. They beat Toronto in the final. They actually thought Toronto played pretty well, but they lost 3-1. That's the way it goes.
Well, you know what? I think that's the only thing that sucks about ever having an argument with Seattle. They have too much to flex on.
They do.
On anyone, really. So, big up Seattle. Shout out Seattle.
They won MLS World Cup in 2019. I don't know who else has done that. Not even.
No, literally nobody.
Nobody's ever won the MLS World Cup. All right, let's give a shout out to, what's up, Wizard? Wizard's in the chat. We got Ryan. We got Good Vibes John in the chat. Shout out to John Shin. He's blessing us with his presence. We appreciate you. Basically, we don't know if anybody's going to show up when we go live. So we're just excited when we see some people populating the chat over here. Mainly, this is a conversation between me and Kevincho. And then if people want to hang out with us while we're doing that conversation, that's fine. Who else we got in here? We got BM.
Yeah,
we got Laurent.
Shades of Blue Network. Massive. What's up, boys? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Unfortunately, they are City fans. But look, they're doing the good work. They're making content. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. And Jimmy, just so you know,
wait,
King is a moderator.
Shades of Blue. Oh, wait. Yeah. Shades of Blue is Man City fan? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
So we have two Man City fans that we know that populate and hang out in our chat. Jacob Hirschman and now Shades of Blue. Wow, that's two more than I thought existed. So fair play to Man City fans out there.
Just 113 more, and we can talk charges, baby. Hell yeah.
Got him.
That was. Just kidding. Love you guys. King is a moderator, so everybody be good. He's not a moderator here, but he knows the YouTube.
He's got to work up to that status.
Exactly. Yeah. You got a lot of work to do, King.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about. There's some big news happening. We got MLS Playoffs, NWSL Decision Day. That's pretty rad. We got big games this weekend all around Europe, and then apparently, and I always thought he was a bit of a. I think he's still a robot. I'm not even really sure. But Fabrizio Romano came out and said this. I don't even think he's a real person. What does everybody think about this move? Ten Hags has been sacked, finally, from Manchester United. Everybody could see that coming. But somehow the owners couldn't. And they went and got 39-year-old superstar manager Rúben Amorim from Sporting Clube de Portugal, who has won the league twice in the last 4 seasons, including helping them win the title for the first time in 19 years. And this guy knows what he's doing. You know what I like about him is he gets the most out of the players that he has in front of him. He doesn't try to get them to be anything that they're not. But Manchester United's a different gravy. Different gravy, Kev.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what Good Vibes John thinks about this as well, because a big United fan. But I think
huge.
You remember when he was kind of linked with Liverpool for just a little bit? There's some chatter.
You're talking Amorim, right? You're talking Amorim?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's something. I don't know. There's some gravy there. That's nice because it's like he's like, no, I want to focus at sporting. I want to focus on my club here, and then he goes to United. Ooh, little rivalry right there already cooking. I think he's perfect for United, even though it's been great to see United just suck for so long. But I think it's a good move.
Can I say, though, for the record, that the Premier League is a lot more interesting for me when Manchester United's competitive. I don't need them winning trophies, but I think it's better when they're competitive.
I agree.
Not to say I haven't taken some joy in them suffering a little bit. But it's nice to see them somewhat competitive because it's a
nostalgia.
Fire.
You don't really care that much, Jimmy.
It probably is nostalgia. You're right. What's up, Ace? Ace says United would sack Sir Alex nowadays, which you're probably right because it took Sir Alex 7 years to win his first league trophy. So
true.
There's not a lot of patience anymore in the manager.
His first 2 seasons, I thought, if I'm remembering correctly, were like really bad. So I think that's spot on.
Yeah, well, are they going to give him the time to do that? He signed a contract through 2029 or 2020.
Yeah.
Is that right? 2029?
Yeah, something like that.
So anyway, he's in. He's locked in. Apparently what I heard was why there was some delay was because he wanted to bring his coaching staff, and United already had a full coaching staff, Rúben van Nistelrooy in particular. So what do you do with Rúben van Nistelrooy now? I don't know. And in his first game in charge against Leicester in the Carabao Cup, United scored 5 goals.
So how do you feel about him then? What if he's like, hey, I know what I'm doing over here with your group of demons. What do you do now?
Well, yes, I think that Rúben van Nistelrooy, who has been in charge of a club before, was he at where was Rúben van Nistelrooy? Was it Feyenoord or PSV? I want to say it's Feyenoord.
It's one of those here.
One of the two. You can look it up.
Yeah.
Somebody help me sound smart for our out of context edit. Now every time I open my mouth, I'm like, is this going to be used in the out of context recap of our show?
It definitely is. I got it. He was at PSV.
He was at PSV.
Yeah,
so he was at PSV for a year. So he knows the deal, what it means to be in charge. And if you're an assistant, you're most likely questioning the decision making by the big boss. You're always thinking, if I was the guy, I would have maybe done this, or maybe I would have said it like this, or I would have communicated it like this to the team. And now he's got that chance, and they go on and score 5 goals in a game. Now, in the league, up until this point, they've scored 8 goals in 9 games. John Shin can correct me in the chat if he's still around. He is a Manchester United expert. But they were struggling to score goals consistently, and even in creating chances. So for them to kind of unload and score 5 must piss off 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗧.
Absolutely.
But they play Chelsea on the weekend, and we're going to break down that game a little bit later. That'll be a stiffer test. And then they got PAOK, not the PAOK that we all know from Greece, but another PAOK they're playing in the Europa League. All these games are at home, by the way. And then they take on Leicester again in the Premier League. And then then the international break will hit, and then Rúben Amorim will take over. I actually think it's really smart of Amorim to wait. And to take your first game against Chelsea, I just don't know if that's how you want to walk into a building kind of in the middle of the fire. You want the firefighters to chill it out, and you can walk in with your squad. Then he has some time, right? You have some time. So I think there's a really mature decision-making there. Though, God, he's got to be nervous. I'd be shitting my pants.
And I don't know, but they had Ten Hag for so long, even with a nightmare couple seasons, record worst season. I don't know. Does he feel the pressure? I feel like he could be like, hey, I'm going to be here. If it's bad, they're going to give me this year. I got another year that they're going to let me kind of build off of. I don't know. That much pressure. I don't know. It's Manchester United, though, so fuck.
I think
I wouldn't want it.
No, it's a big job. And in terms of what Ace and Ryan are saying in the chat, you don't have the same luxury of time. There's only a handful of managers that we can look around Europe right now that I think get the time to actually build something. Somebody that stands out for me is Gianpiero Gasperini at Atalanta. But so he helped make that club into someone that's competing for the top 4 all the time now since he's been in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to give him room to fail sometimes because their turnover, they sell players or that what I really like what Atalanta has done, and I actually want to study Gasperini a little bit more. But he's a manager that I think had the room to develop, and obviously he had success. He turned them around, and now they're consistently very good, and they're holding their own against some of the best clubs in Europe and in the Champions League or the Europa League, and that's been impressive. But that feels like more of a rarity, whereas in the past it seemed like that happened a little bit more. So
definitely, people are they're not patient. We're not patient anymore, guys. Come on. We gotta. I mean, even Klopp had a bad couple years. So, but yeah, I agree.
So let's talk about this. So Amorim takes over this team, and when I just got back from New York yesterday. I was in studio, CBS Sports, Golasso Network, and hopefully you guys were checking me out. I had to dress up a lot fancier than I am now. And one of the big things that 𝗦𝗨𝗪𝗑𝗘𝗘 was saying was that these players aren't good enough to play for Manchester United. I think that's probably pretty spot on. And I know that Sir Alex Ferguson has been rumored to have said that the players that Erik Ten Hag brought in, let's use Antony in as a prime example, not good enough to play for Manchester United. But that seems to have happened. And obviously, Sir Alex made mistakes along the way in the transfer market too. He's not free from that responsibility.
Yeah.
But remember when they signed 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 when David Moyes took over, and it was like somebody he knew from Everton. And listen, Fellaini serves a purpose. I don't know where that guy is right now. We should just have a day where all we do is talk about 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. But that kind of signaled the start for me, where they were just going to get players that I didn't think were Manchester United quality. Fellaini, good enough to be in the Premier League and obviously have a serious impact, but for Man United, it just felt different. And he still scored some goals for United, but it just wasn't in the way that we all knew. And that's not what I relate to with Man United in particular, the kind of the Everton way of playing the beautiful game. But yeah, since then it's been interesting. So I guess the big question is what I'm trying to get to is, what are your expectations now for Amorim throughout the rest of the season? Realistic expectations. There's emotional expectations, but then there's realistic expectations. Being fair to him, all things considered. Let us know in the chat, by the way.
Yeah. I think first, just to be obvious and just straightforward, it's just, even if they're not getting all the perfect results, because that's probably going to take time and whatnot, it's just like every United fan, from players to even actually, honestly, current players, ex-players, current players, they've all said, like, this is not how Manchester United plays. If he could just kind of change just a play style, just give us something different to freaking look at, because for every fucking week, and I hate United, but every week they look like every 3 minutes you don't know if they're going to collapse if they have a lead, or if their heads are going to dip, or they never enter a game. Just a change of mentality. Step one.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what's interesting? No. So this is a big conversation, and we're getting some good comments. Omar says, "How's producer Ben's mom doing?" She's doing great. Thanks for asking. She's fantastic. I'll tell her you said hello. Ryan says Thomas Frank at Brentford as well would be one.
Right.
Also, Ryan also adds, by the way, the MVP of the chat right now, Ryan. Everybody else that's watching and not chatting, you got to pick up your game because Ryan's kicking your ass.
Shout out, Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan right now. He says never lose a game. So Amorim prefers to play with a back three, which can morph into a fluid 4 or a back 5, depending on the opponent. What's interesting about his style and preference of play, and the reasons why he explains it, I've been doing some research on him as well, is very similar to why I like to play a 3-4-2-1 with my youth team that I coach, my daughter's youth team. We play not as sophisticated, of course, as what Rúben Amorim has put in place for Sporting Clube de Portugal and what he hopes to put in place for Manchester United. But we get after it in a 3-4-2-1. And we have double six. We have a back 3, double 6s, 2 10s, and my wing backs create the width. And then based on the opponent, if we have to drop one of them to be an outside back, we can do that, or we drop both of them to really make it very difficult to break us down. Listen, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I'm going to toot my own horn here. We've played 17 games. We've only lost 2, okay? I'm just saying, the 3-4-2-1 works, and there's a lot of fluidity and flexibility in how you take advantage of the space. And if I can get my daughter's team to do this, then I'm pretty sure Rúben Amorim can take the same style and take it to professional grown-ass men and make it work for Manchester United.
Or if he can't, throw Jimmy Conrad in there.
Get me on the team. Get me in the squad. Ace says I'm the U9 Pep. Listen, I love that.
Press conferences, everything.
Yeah, I would love to have press conferences for my youth team. That would be amazing. Having to explain myself.
That would be so sick.
But honestly, there's a series there. I think it would be a documentary or like a vlog series. People would love it.
Oh yeah.
But I will say that I think that Pep, and this has been echoed, and I said it on the podcast, call it what you want. We just recorded one, me and Big Tones, little earlier. So if you want any U.S. men's national team talk, going all in over there. So call it what you want. Go to 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗦𝗏 America, hit YouTube or to the YouTube channel, and hit like and subscribe over there. After you hit like and subscribe over here, a lot of liking and subscribing, please. And go to, I guess maybe go to Kevincho and maybe hit like and subscribe for him too. But
yeah, you don't have to. No.
I think Pep has ruined the game in some ways because now everybody tries to play like them,
Right.
which I appreciate. It's like the highest aesthetic you should try to reach, but not everybody can do it. So now you try to ask players to be something that they're not, and that lends itself to disappointment and failure and no real, like, you can't just ask somebody who's 25, who didn't grow up in a certain type of system. Now you're playing like that. We're going to play like Pep Guardiola when they don't have the foundational or the player profile to fit that. And then you just keep trying to ask the same person to do the things that they're not consistently capable of. And then tell me how you think that ends. So ultimately, yes, there's something I do appreciate about Pep and that straightforwardness or that ideal that he's chasing. And
Yeah.
I'd say that straightforward is not the right way. Singular focus he has and making sure the game looks like that. One, it's kind of boring now. But two,
Right, I agree.
I like to be a little bit more. Now, obviously, I'm sure if I got to see how the sausage was made, I'm sure he's doing all these things. But I like a little bit more of tactical flexibility. And sometimes when City does play a little bit more direct, they get themselves in good spots. And it might not be skipping lines isn't necessarily what Pep likes to do, but there's something that sometimes that's the right soccer decision. So ultimately, this is what I tell my kids. If you make enough good soccer decisions on both sides of the ball, then the result's going to take care of itself. Like, I don't want them to, and I think Pep very similar. Like, if we're making good soccer decisions, dude, the goals are going to come, and we're not going to give up any. We're going to win games, right? I think that I follow that ethos quite a bit, but I just have maybe a little bit of a different approach because I don't have $1 billion to spend on my U9 kids. You know what I mean?
I was going to say that, dude. Well, the other thing is, I think you said it too. Like, a lot of people say, he's ruined football or whatever. But the other thing that, obviously, they're the top flight. So just take that, okay, and understand that. But the pressure of them, it feels like when I watch a City game, like those players know, hey, I have to make a good touch here. I got to make the right pass here. Or you're going to see Pep fucking flipping shit on the sidelines,
Yeah.
So
his standards are crazy high. But yeah, I love that. What else we got? Rev's in the chat. He thinks that Rúben Amorim is going to get a free hand this season as long as he doesn't get United relegated. He won't lose his job until he says the earliest he'll lose his job is Christmas of next year. Listen, they gave Ten Hag 2 years. Now, in fairness, he did win 2 trophies, so that was enough to keep him going.
He'll remind you that forever.
Yeah. Greg says Don Conrad. What's up, dude? You know what's up. And Jacob Hirschman, our other Man City fan, is in the chat. What have we done? What have we done to deserve this? My hat is better because it's the 2019 MLS World Cup champion hat.
It's a make-believe hat, make-believe cup, Mickey Mouse trophy.
Okay. Here we go. So ultimately, let's answer our own question here, then, Kevincho. Yep. I think that he's got to finish top 8 and minimum.
Yes.
He's got the FA Cup to defend, so they got to make a good run in that. And they want, got to continue any success they can get in the League Cup as well. Just building some momentum around the team. And I think there's I would say this: there's got to be a certain level of like an evolution in style of play. Because I think what you got the fans frustrated with Manchester United is that they'd see one version of this team for 45 minutes, and then that same version of that team, I think they were really good against Brentford for the first 45 minutes in their game not too long ago. Awesome. But then the next 45 minutes and like the next 3 games after that, they kind of were shit. And so where is that consistency? And I think if he can evolve that identity on both sides of the ball, I think it'll help. The problem here is, everybody, do they have the squad to immediately get into a 3-4-2-1?
Man, that back line is scary.
Right. So I think the best thing you can do when I think about my 3-4-2-1 is I try to look at my player pool at my disposal, even my U9s, and I say, who do I think can play the wingback position? Because that position is so important. And if you have players that you think can play the wingback position, that's a great starting position. Good starting spot, starting point. So when I look at Manchester United's team, Mazraoui could do it. you have that because there's no 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗚, who's got knee injuries still, which is a shame because I think he'd be a good fit for this. Luke Shaw could do it too, but he never seems to stay healthy. So you put Diogo Dalot out there. He can do it. He always likes to bomb forward anyway. So you could put Mazzarelli or Dalot on either side. Not ideal choices. And if that was the formation I wanted to go for moving forward, I would get rid of Antony in the window if you can. You just got to sell that guy in the January transfer window.
Just anywhere, please.
Anywhere. And then you just go try to find, like, if you can get $30 million. I don't even know would they pay 90 for him. I bet you they don't even get 20 for him.
No, yeah.
But if you can go get some wingbacks, some up and coming wingbacks. I don't know if there's anybody on Sporting that outside of the striker up top who's excellent, but they already have a couple guys up top now. They committed to Xerxes.
Does he keep Onana? Does he keep this keeper? That also is been a question mark.
I'd keep Onana. I like Onana, to be honest, yeah. But then, okay, so you got your wing backs, then he goes with your center backs. Do you have enough center backs? So before we go anywhere else, you have wing backs that could maybe do the job. I would say you could maybe throw Rashford out as a wing back, but he probably wouldn't be the one tracking back, so you'd have to know right away that you're almost in a slanted back four instead of a back three, because if Rashford's on the left playing that wing back spot, then whoever's going to be the right wing back's probably going to be tucking in to play a little bit more defense. So when you look at, you have De Ligt, you have Harry Maguire, who's hurt, you have Lindelof, who can do the job, and you have who else? Yep. They have other guys. Oh, Lisandro Martinez. So Lisandro can do the job. So they have guys that could do it. But you really, I don't know. I would rather have Rashford on and have a tilted kind of 3/4 and bring on more and more attacking player than to kind of have Mazzarawi and Dalot be your guys, because you're going to have to sacrifice somebody somewhere. So then, okay, let's keep moving. Thanks for hearing me here, everybody. Your double sixes. Mm-hmm. So if you played a box in midfield, so 2 6s and 2 10s, and your width comes from your wing backs, who are your double sixes? You have I was just looking at their team. Who do they have? They have
Casemiro, who scored a freaking banger.
Oh, Ugarte. They have Ugarte.
Yep.
So they could be your double sixes if you wanted.
Yeah.
Where is this team? I got to find them. Here we go. So you have Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes will be a 10 for sure.
Huge.
Oh, you got Johnny Evans that could play that. Christian Eriksen could be one of, if you wanted to have a 6 that was a little bit more deep line playmaker, you could put Eriksen. Garnacho gets it. You have Diallo and Garnacho, which are interesting. You could potentially have one of them be a wing back as well if you wanted. It's not a traditional wing back. Don't yell at me in the chat. But you could makeshift them there. All you're telling them to do is, like, you just have to go back and you're going to have cover behind you. So just give good initial pressure, which you would do anyway. I don't know why people get all bent out of shape out of starting positions. It's just it's just an area to get you going. Everybody kind of knows where you should be.
They move around, guys.
I don't know. Yeah.
Has Ugarte even been playing that much? I haven't even seen.
When he first came in, he didn't play well in his original game, and then Ten Hag didn't play him for like the next 3 games or something, and then started to ease him back into the team. Yeah. So
he's a baller.
Oh, you got Lenny Yoro as well. Yeah, when Lenny Yoro comes back from his foot injury, that would be a good one. So you move Antony, try to get as much money as you can for him. Can you move Mason Mount? Does anybody want Mason Mount at this point? Like, God, Antony and Mason Mount, those purchases alone
are awful.
Awful.
It's so bad.
Awful.
Yeah.
So Leo's right. What Yeo says, back 3 seems obvious.
Yep.
Is this good for the Anthony Robinson to Man United rumor? It would be amazing. Because I think the U.S. should play with wingbacks.
Yeah.
And we did. When Pochettino came in, that game against Panama, we played with 3 in the back.
Yeah.
So Balde would be sick, Balde from Barcelona wouldn't be a bad shout for wingback. He'd be amazing. I just don't see Barcelona unless – here's the thing. You could go steal a couple young players from Barcelona because they have to balance their books.
Yep. And they got a ton of young guys. Yeah.
I love it.
Unfortunately.
I think you're right.
Man
United going to a back 5 will be hilarious. I could see it defensively because even Sporting Clube de Portugal did. And you'll see it. Sporting plays Man City in the Champions League. Amorim will still be in charge. just watch how he sets up against Man City there. Man United's going to do something very similar moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, if you want a little teaser on Amorim, check
That's
out the match day. Yeah, we're going to do a couple watch parties this upcoming week for the Champions League. So keep it here.
Yes, sir.
On this channel. All right, we should move to the next topic. I don't even know what it was because
Sure.
we got so heavy into Amorim. Oh, Carabao Cup. So here's
Perfect.
the draw for the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to quick fire prediction, Kevincho.
Okay,
Ready?
go.
Tottenham, Man United.
I'm going Tottenham 1-0.
Wow, you're giving me scores too. I respect it.
Yes.
Southampton, Liverpool.
Liverpool wins 2-0. Easy peasy.
Yeah, Southampton. Their run comes to an end. Newcastle, Brentford.
All right. I know. Not hot take. I think Brentford wins. I don't know what. Give me a 2-1. Okay.
Wow.
There's something. Wait, where is it? It's in Newcastle,
Newcastle.
right? Well, I'm still staking with that. And then Arsenal beats Palace like 3-4-0. I don't know, 4-1. I don't know. I'll give them one roll. Fuck
that
yeah,
would suck
dude.
because Matt Turner got his first start for Crystal Palace
Right.
against Aston Villa, and they won away from home.
I actually kind of like Crystal Palace, but
And
sorry,
Matt Turner
Arsenal, they got young guys too.
played for Arsenal.
Oh right.
So will he ship 4 goals? That wouldn't make us U.S. men's national team fans very happy.
But don't worry, guy. But Jimmy, he's still playing. You remember when everyone used to bitch that you didn't even have a starter? Okay, he's out there. All right. Sorry, he eats 4 goals this week. Or
Now
next,
it's
when is this?
December
17th.
Yeah, we got a month, dude. A month and a half.
You're fine.
We're fine. It's just a matter of whether he gets any
Fine.
games in those next 6 weeks. He will. He'll get 2 against Jamaica. So
Right.
he's got
sure.
two on the schedule for sure. I was worried though he wasn't going to get any cup games because in the previous round when Crystal Palace played QPR, they rolled out their number 1, Dean Henderson. So, but then Dean Henderson just got a clean sheet this past weekend against Tottenham. And then they gave Matt Turner this game, and he got a big win away from home.
Though.
Quarterfinals.
How
I know.
thirsty is Crystal Palace? I mean, they really want that.
Yeah.
But Arsenal's too strong. They got it.
It's pretty good final 8, all things considered. Tottenham looked pretty good to knock out Man City. Where's Shades of Blue?
Yeah.
Show yourself. Jacob Hirschman, show yourself.
Cowards.
I know you had some injuries. I know that's difficult. Losing to Kanji right before kickoff can't help. Not that you don't have another world-class defender to put in there.
Wait, is Rude still going to be the coach then, right?
Rude will not be the coach at this point.
Or we're in December 17th.
Yeah, Amorim will be in charge at this point.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to hit the ground running.
No, I'm still sticking by it. Tottenham wins.
Okay, you think Tottenham wins?
Yes,
Hold on,
sir.
let me see Man United's fixtures. So they have 4 home games in a row. They just had Leicester. They played Chelsea, PAOK, and then Leicester again.
Now he's cheating.
Coming out of that international break, though, you couldn't have asked for
True.
3 better games to start your career with a club.
Yeah.
They play away to Ipswich. They play home to Bodo Glimt, who do in fairness do take some scalps, but that's in the Europa League. And then they're home to Everton. So on paper, those are some games that should be easily managed, all things considered. And then they play away to Arsenal, and then it gets a little trickier. And then all of a sudden you get the glut of games that happen over Boxing Day and all kinds of stuff in the new year.
Yeah, Liverpool
They
on
get like
January
2 days of rest.
5th.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
Shades of Blue says, I don't care about the cup. That's what you say when you lose.
Nobody cares about this. Jimmy, did you not know that? God.
Yeah.
Only little teams care about the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, only the little teams, even though they won it 4 years in a row.
Yeah. They're over it.
Shades of Blue's right, though. You think Tottenham wins the whole tournament? Big Ange basically admitted he's going all in on the competition. Well, they haven't won a trophy since 2008. They haven't won the league in, 60, 61? So it's been a while on that. Yeah.
Dude, 61 was the last time they won the league?
60 or 61 was the last time Tottenham won the league.
They didn't even win it when they had, like, 𝗟𝗩𝗘𝗓 or whatever in the 70s. They didn't. What the fuck? Jeez, they suck, man. What? That is...
It's not good.
I'm just now finding out how bad they are.
All right, let's get
That is a long time.
I think it's a nice transition point to get into our weekend bangers, to be honest.
Come on!
We're just going to jump into the weekend bangers. So for everybody that doesn't know what's going on this weekend, we got some games, some bangers for you. We'll go to Germany first. Borussia Dortmund versus RB Leipzig. Dortmund basically fell off a cliff I don't know. They beat Celtics 7-1
Yeah.
in the Champions League, and have they not won since then? I gotta look.
I thought they won the last weekend.
No, dude, I don't know. Hold on.
Oh no, they lost to Wolfsburg. Dude, what the hell? Well, yeah, you're right.
See, I'm super smart.
No, hold on.
Not always.
They lost to Real Madrid that 5-2, right?
Okay.
They lost to Augsburg and Wolfsburg. Fuck.
Okay, so they beat Celtics 7-1. They lost to Union Berlin away. Beat St. Pauli 2-1. And then lost to Madrid, lost to Augsburg, lost to Wolfsburg in the cup. No, at St. Pauli, it was 1-1 at that point, and they needed a Guirassy goal in the 83rd minute to win that one. They're not playing well. And 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗏, the coach, who they brought in to replace 𝗪𝗏𝗘𝗧, 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗏 was 𝗪𝗏𝗘𝗧's assistant, struggling right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely struggling. RB Leipzig, conversely.
Let's see them.
Well, they lost to Juventus in the Champions League. Then they came back and won 2 games on the trot away from home with clean sheets against Heidenheim and Mainz, respectively. Then lost to Liverpool at home 1-0 in the Champions League. Those are 2 tough games, but they're both at home and couldn't get any points. Then beat Freiburg 3-1 and St. Pauli 4-2. And right now at the Bundesliga, if I look at the top of the table, we have
second.
Leipzig is tied with Bayern Munich at the top of the table. 6 wins and 2 draws, no losses.
Sheesh.
Yeah, Leipzig have the best defense in the league, only giving up 3 goals in 8 games. So Dortmund have more than enough the firepower, but they just can't seem to get it going. I actually think Leipzig might do it. They seem to be better away from home than at home right now.
I agree.
All right, cool.
Either way,
glad we're on the same
banger
page.
game.
Banger game. One worth watching for sure. Okay, so
now what about this one?
Manchester United, Chelsea. Yeah, we probably should have started here, so we're just talking about them. This is going to be an interesting game, Manchester United, Chelsea. Chelsea, they made 11 changes to their starting 11 in their Carabao Cup loss, their 2-0 loss to Newcastle. And it showed. It just took them a while to kind of get into that next gear or to settle down. Now, obviously, very similar to City, they are littered with world-class talent. Now, maybe a little bit more raw world-class talent than Man City has, but still world-class talent at their disposal, and can they get everybody on the same page? I think Enzo Maresca's actually done a pretty good job, all things considered, of making it all work. But Newcastle, very similar to Tottenham, decided we're going to go for it in this competition and rolled out a pretty good team and to try and win it. I don't know. How are you feeling about this game?
I just naturally I want to say Chelsea just because obviously United has an interim coach and they're figuring things out. But then that last win's got me now feeling nervous. I still favor Chelsea for this. Okay. But Ruud might be like, hey, I want clubs to see how good I am. All right, I'm figuring this out. I'm going to beat Chelsea. I'm going to play out whatever I have time, whatever left I have in United and flex. So I don't know.
I think there are going to be goals in this one.
Yeah.
You're going to make your changes. Does Reece James come back into the team? He's starting to roll back into that. Caicedo and Lavia, I'm a big fan of those two as they continue to get more reps together. Pedro Neto on one side is super dynamic and better than Mudryk. I think a lot more consistent. Madueke, top player Cole Palmer has been awesome. And if Nico Jackson can finish his chances, they all of a sudden become so much more dangerous. That guy gets himself into so many great spots and then seems Raheem Sterling the ball. Or we could even go Dusan Vlahovic. That guy misses so many easy chances for you.
Dude, for real.
I'm curious as to see how they're going to get set up. There's going to be goals. I mean, if you're going to bet both teams to score, it'd probably be a nice one to throw into a parlay. But I just look at this team for Man United, and I just don't know if they have enough to slow down this Chelsea team that's starting to continuing to grow with confidence. I could see a draw here. That might be the best that I could see United getting, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea could sneak a win. I don't know. What is the chat saying?
Let's see.
I don't know.
Casemiro's going to score another banger?
Well, if he does that was the thing that I think really helped Man United in the Carabao Cup. Had they given up the first goal to Leicester, by the way, it was 5-2, but Man United gave up 2 unbelievably crappy goals. Like cue the circus music. But
yeah,
if by them scoring first, it just took so much pressure off the players and gave them some confidence, got the crowd behind them, because there's a lot of uncertainty. And so that was a really important first goal. If Man United can score first again, maybe a different game.
Could throw them off.
Yeah. Ahmed, what's up, dude? Great to see you. What's up, Lee? Lee's in the chat. Ferrazzo's in the chat. Carton's in the chat. Cartine.
Omar says Chelsea winner draw plus 3 goals.
Chelsea winner draw plus 3 goals? So you're going double chance and over 3, or you just go over 2.5? That probably gives you some decent value. All things considered. All right, let's get to the next one. Got Napoli versus Atalanta. So Napoli, the best defense in Serie A, Kev.
But the best team in Serie A.
That too. Easy. Atalanta, the best attack in Serie A. So this is an unstoppable force facing an immovable object, and they're going to be butting heads. Given what I saw with Napoli with their big 2-0 win away from home against AC Milan, in Serie A this midweek, if you let Napoli score first, they are so good defensively, so good.
Yes,
they just can't break them down. And you got Billy Gilmore and Scott McTominay running the midfield for an Italian club. That blows my mind.
I'm getting sick of the Serie A slander because everyone now is like, look, these two bums in the Premier League are owning Serie A right now. Give Antonio Conte some credit, chatters. Okay,
you have
Serie A
to.
is very difficult.
You have to,
and they're balling. Okay,
they are absolutely balling. I think what's interesting, and this is what I think Rúben Amorim has to do, just to tie it back to him, because I think what Antonio Conte, every manager should do this, but what Antonio Conte does really well is that he gets the team to buy in on their defensive identity first. It's almost that's you have to start there, because you don't want games to be 6-5, right? You want to make sure that you're incredibly difficult to break down, and then from there you can start to build the next line of the field. Okay, good. What is our transition game going to look like on both sides? When we lose it, how are we setting up? When we win it, how are we in good positions to support each other? And then how quickly can we get the ball up the field and try to make something happen?
Yeah.
And then when we're in possession, what does our team look like in possession? How do we want to create numerical advantages, either centrally or out wide? So you have all these kind of tiers, and when you're looking at it as a coach, and I may or may not be going through some coaching course stuff right now, but you need, for me, it's a lot easier to start with the back, get everybody organized when you don't have the ball as opposed to when you do, and then that seems to be then almost the talent of the players will help dictate how you want to attack. And so I think Amorim's got to sort that out for Man United. How are we going to move without the ball? And in transition, when we lose it, how are we moving? What are our reactions like? Where do we want to trap teams? So on and so forth. And then and then from there, you can start to build the pieces as to how you want to look in transition when you get it, and then obviously when you get possession. And I think Antonio Conte's done a great job at the defensive side of the ball, which is why I think it's going to be a long game for Atalanta. I have the under. I went on Golasso Network today on Morning Footy and said that Napoli was going to win or draw. Kind of hedging my bets here. I don't think they're going to lose at home.
Sure.
Napoli to win or draw and under 4.5 total goals. Because I just think it's going to be tight. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. You like Napoli.
Oh, I love Napoli.
But what's Gasperini at Atalanta, I just love what that guy does. He gets the most out of his players all the time.
Yeah, I agree. The Atalanta story is like it's unmatched. Even Napoli, like back in the day, Napoli was like seen as just a whatever club, pretty much kind of like what Atalanta's like. But building some nice players and then losing them quickly. But now, Serie A is getting more and more interesting now. And Juve's back, Inter, even Milan has been kind of dropping a little bit, but
competitive.
They're competitive, yeah. I mean, the league is super fun. So yeah, I love what's going on.
I love that. Okay, hold on. A couple comments.
Let's go.
We got Pablo Pacheco said, "You said you weren't going to abandon us again. You're the reason I have trust issues." I have started and stopped on my YouTube channel quite a bit. So now Kevin and I have talked about this behind the scenes, that we're going to approach this a little bit more realistically based on Kevincho's schedule, and he's helping me a ton with all this, and based on my schedule. So we're gonna stream and go live a couple times a week. That's the plan, and mainly Fridays for sure. That's my most open day with all the other stuff I've got going on, and it works for Kevincho as well. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays we'll always have a show or try to have a show, but this upcoming week we'll do some watch parties. So we'll just sit and bullshit, which will be fun. All right, and then we got Go ahead.
Real quick, Jimmy. On top of things, if you do miss stuff, Jimmy's Twitter, on his TikTok, Instagram, even my Twitter, we're just posting whatever highlights. So even if you don't want to
90-second recaps. You're gonna get all caught up in 90 seconds. Don't worry.
Don't worry. You're gonna understand everything that happened. Okay.
Yeah. OG says Napoli at home will give them the edge to win. Plus, Atalanta have the worst defensive record in the top 6. And Napoli's attack ain't bad. Revs says McTominay and Gilmore have never been bums. That's fairly disrespectful. They're solid players. I never said they were bums. I don't want words put in my mouth.
I'm not saying they're bums either.
I'm just saying that it's funny that you have Billy Gilmore and Scott McTominay driving the midfield for an Italian team. That's all. You got a couple gringos.
And when they left the Premier League, people were happy that they were gone. Okay, just saying. People were like, they're out of here.
United could still use a little bit of that grit that I think McTominay had. And he had a little magic. Sometimes he'd pop in with a couple good goals. So I agree with you. Not bums. Now, 𝗏𝗏𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 is awesome. He's a top player, and was it 𝗏𝗏𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 he has been on fire right now. So when you have that partnership between Redegi and 𝗥𝗏𝗕𝗏, Atalanta is solid. This is going to be a good game. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that one up.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have Ajax versus PSV. Now, Ajax is not the same. They've dropped off a little bit. And they sold a whole bunch of players all at once. I'm sure they did make money. I mean, they got 90 million for Antony. That's crazy. That's like 2.5 times more than what he was worth. And they probably sold De Ligt at a time when they should have sold him because De Ligt hasn't really panned out. Didn't play much for Juve. Eric Dyer went to Bayern Munich last year and ended up starting over De Ligt. That's all you need to say. And now De Ligt's at Manchester United. And so Ajax, I feel like they lost their coach, they lost some identity, they lost a whole bunch of players, and they're trying to get their Ajax vibe back. PSV, on the other hand, excellent.
Unbeaten.
Unbeaten. 10 games, 10 wins. And in their last match day in the Champions League, they went to Paris and got a 1-1 draw with PSG. These guys can play. However, this is going to be their biggest test domestically. And Ajax midweek beat Feyenoord, who's usually the other third prong of the 3 teams that will probably win the Eredivisie. They beat them 1-0. So Ajax comes into this with a little bit of confidence. And I know that PSV's on fire. You got Ricardo Pepi scoring a whole bunch of goals, Luuk de Jong scoring goals, Malik Tillman scoring goals. They can beat you in a lot of different ways. We'll see if Pepi starts. I bet you Luuk de Jong gets back into the 11, but because he's captain, so it makes sense. But yeah, it's the big one. Not only just in general, but also from an American perspective. So I'm keeping my eye on that in particular.
Shout out PSV, baby.
Played out. What's up, dude? Played out's in the chat. Pep just wants 11 midfielders. Yeah, he does want to. He wants players that can play. Well, he wants 10 midfielders, and then,
he wants 10.
And then Erling Haaland. No, Ederson is definitely a midfielder. So anyway, that'll be a really good game. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll lean towards PSV, but in Amsterdam, and Ajax it would be kind of cool for Ajax to get a result because then it'll make the Eredivisie a lot more competitive. But anyway. All right, what's next, dude? What else are we talking about? I don't even know what else. I don't even remember what else is on here. You know what? We got to give a shout out.
Yeah.
To one of my favorite players in the world right now, and one of the best defenders in the world, Naomi Girma. She had yet to score for the U.S. women's national team, and they had a friendly against Argentina, and she scores her first goal, and then not too long after that, she scores her second goal. Her second ever goal for the U.S. women's national team. That's next level. The fact that she wasn't on the short list for the Ballon d'Or is... Dude. I don't even know if I can say it out loud. It's not safe for the stream. It's a joke.
Sure.
I'm going to paraphrase. It's a joke. Listen, even though in the 2023... I know the 2023 Women's World Cup doesn't matter for the 2024 Ballon d'Or.
Right.
But we gave up 4 shots in our 4 games. Something crazy. We gave up 3 or 4 shots the whole tournament. In our 4 games in the Women's World Cup, we gave up 3 or 4 shots. That's it. And we ended up getting knocked out.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. Okay? The margins didn't go our way. And Vlatko, the coach, Vlatko Andonovski, who's at KC Current right now, and KC Current's crushing it, and they're doing well. I believe he's very good at the defensive side of the ball. Where we struggled was on the attacking side, and that's where Emma Hayes has come in and been an absolute boss. I love Emma Hayes. She's excellent. Excellent. She's trying all these young players, and it's great. And now Girma's got 2 goals. And I just want to say once again, Girma should have been not only on the short list for the Ballon d'Or, she should have, for me, been in the top 5. Listen, she came off of 2023 where she was crushing it. A mainstay for us, right? Replacing Becky Sauerbrunn, who has been a mainstay for us for a long time and really made the position her own. And now in 2024, we get a gold medal in the Olympics. She's crushing it again. She plays for the San Diego Wave. The Wave's not playing as well right now,
Right.
but still, Girma's the boss, and she's
I only have to say one thing, Jimmy.
Go ahead.
But did she have to do it against Argentina?
Yes.
That's my thing.
Yes.
She had all this time.
No, she did. Because
Okay.
we needed to cool the jets of Argentina just for a little bit.
Okay, sure. All right.
Argentina's
right.
winning everything right now. Can we just relax on
Not the
Argentina winning?
women's. We need to step in. I will say, I will give the broadcast people some credit. They were really cool to say, like, for an Argentina's women's team. Honestly, a lot of the South American women's have a really hard time just with the overall.
Yeah. There's a lot to
America.
break through. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. They did mention that, like, Argentina's women's have gone super far. I mean, they were like kind of like the U.S. in like 30 years. They were like playing out of people's backyards, basically. Like they're training in like horrible conditions and getting a lot of heat or whatever. So I thought that was cool. But you know what, Naomi, you deserve it. You deserve.
Of course she does. Of course she does.
It could have been a Brazil, maybe next. I don't know. Whenever they play somebody else, please score more. Score a hat trick.
Rev says, as an Englishman, I will always celebrate goals that Argentina concede. Pablo says her not being on the short list is Vinicius levels of robbery. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
And Ryan knows we have an abundance of center backs for the women's team. Well, none of them are going to replace Naomi Girma because she's a beast.
No, she's number 1.
She's the best. All right, let's get into using her as a segue into the next thing. It's decision day for the NWSL, the top league here. For me, the top women's league in the world. Maybe there's some people that think what's happening in England's a little bit better and not competitive enough yet in Spain for me, though the Women's Champions League is pretty ridiculous, very competitive. But it's decision day. Okay, so here's the standings, right? We don't have the standings up. I'm just going to read them out to you. Orlando Pride, there's 1 game left. Orlando Pride is going to win the league. They went undefeated the first 23 rounds. They were on the Invincibles run. And then they've lost their last 2 games, which brought them back down to earth, which is not a good way to go into the playoffs, by the way. Just throwing it out there.
No.
Washington Spirit, led by Trinity Rodman and Ashley Sanchez. They are in second with 53 points. Gotham FC, winners of 4 of their last 5. They are on 53 points. KC Currents, who I just talked about, they are on 52 points. So that top 4 is pretty clear of everybody else. Then you get into the next tier. North Carolina Courage on 39 points. Chicago Red Stars, Chicago Stars moving forward apparently, 32 points. Okay, this is where it gets a little dicey. So 6th, Chicago, 32 points. Portland Thorns, 31. Bay FC, who the new NWSL team that's like an hour and a half away from me, 31 points. Top 8 make it. So you have one team, Racing Louisville. If Racing Louisville win, because they have a better goal difference, and Bay FC loses, Racing Louisville will get into the playoffs. If Portland Thorns lose and Racing Louisville win by a couple goals, they could leapfrog Portland Thorns into the playoffs. Chicago Red Stars look like they're going to be okay. So it's just like Portland and Bay FC can get caught by Racing. Now, Racing are playing away to San Diego Wave. San Diego Wave, despite all their talent, are at the bottom of the table with 22 points. Second from the bottom. Bay FC go to Houston, who are on bottom of the table, and they need a result there, ultimately. Then you have Utah Royals. Angel City, I have season tickets with them. I'm an LA native, want to support my LA women's NWSL team. But okay, what? Go. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
I was going to say, you could look, Bay FC, where you're not going to show love to the Bay? What the hell, bro?
That's right. Ashley Sanchez got traded to the Courage. You're right. Sorry about that. I forgot she's not on Washington Spirit anymore. Sad days.
You know what is kind of going to be interesting? Like potentially no Sophia Smith in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's disappointing. That's a ball. I think she's like 11 goals, 12 goals, whatever she has.
Yeah.
That sucks. Seattle Reign not in the playoffs.
I know.
What? Excuse me.
I know.
Your Angel City not. I mean,
Angel City. I know. Kristen Press, awesome. Getting back into the team and starting to score goals and being healthy again is awesome to see. She's an awesome human. I said awesome like 4 times there, but I just wanted to hammer home that point. So Angel City, if they go to beat Portland, which Christine Sinclair, this is her last year.
Right.
One of the best women's players ever.
Period.
She's announced her retirement, so this is it. This is her last. You'd like to think they have some energy for her in this one. They just need a draw. So basically, BFC and Portland just need a draw, and it doesn't matter what Racing Louisville does. So we'll see. I'm pulling for BFC. They're an expansion team, and we'll see it happens. What's up, Luis?
And then
Luis
Orlando, it obviously has locked in that first week bye too, so they can slump in a little bit. Maybe win.
You want to win one. You want to win.
Yeah,
one.
win one, and then
you don't want to go into the playoffs like with not like losing 3 straight games.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's get into a story that I know is near and dear to Kevincho's heart.
Give me it.
Sergio Ramos is looking to sign for Boca Juniors. The player has had conversations with Riquelme and Coach Gago. Ramos looks tempted by this possibility. That's what's being reported. I just want to remind him that 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗧 also made this move later on in his career, and it did not work
at all.
Did not work. 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗧 should have just kept his legacy in place at Roma. And with the Italian national team, and he goes to Boca, and it just didn't. It wasn't a good fit, and I think it could happen with Sergio Ramos as well. I'm just saying.
Yes, because first of all, this guy hasn't been playing for like 6 months or whatever. It's like hella time not even playing in Sevilla. 1, okay.
Yeah.
2, like you just said, Rossi has been a nightmare. So Boca hasn't had big names in a while since like 2018. They just haven't had that Boca player.
Right.
So Ramos, obviously one of the best players ever. This dude coming here.
Can you use that for the out of context edit?
No. First of all,
Ramos?
you don't rate Sergio Ramos?
I rate him, but as the best player ever, best defender
in his position, he's fucking awesome.
Okay, in his position.
Okay,
all right.
Sorry. Hold on. Let me slow down. Sergio Ramos is one of the best players in his position in me and Jimmy's lifetime. Holy fuck. All right.
That's I needed that clarification. For you to say that Sergio Ramos is the best player ever.
He's not better than Landon Donovan. Shut up, Jimmy. Give me 5 minutes, okay?
Clint Dempsey. He's
the
not better
guy
or Landon.
should look at all these big name players going to Boca, okay? And they've always failed, especially later in their career. The guy's 38. Brother, you're hitting MLS numbers. You come here, baby.
Easy. MLS is taking it straight right now. No reason to do that.
No, okay. Who would not want to see Sergio Ramos in Major League Soccer? I mean, come on. Don't go to Boca. Waste your time there, my friend. Gago's not even going to be a good coach. Don't do it, all right? And I would love to see Boca continue to be bad. But
they all just want to play in La Bombonera. Who could blame them? Because it's better than 𝗟𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗘. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I think you have a video that says otherwise, but we'll get there, I'm sure, Chad.
Okay, we'll get there right now. Look at this.
Okay.
80,000 plus River Plate fans welcome their team to La Monumental. We actually have a video to roll. You guys, hopefully everybody's ready for this. Here we go. Nice firework display.
Firework display.
Wow. Huge Harry Potter fans.
Now, I'm looking up. This is in 𝗪𝗏𝗘𝗦𝗏𝗧. So, if my friends don't know, that's the Champions League in South America.
Yes, I know.
No, I'm not talking about you, Jimmy. I'm talking about my friends. Anyways, friends. The thing about this is River Plate's coming in.
We'll see if it can happen again.
Atletico Mineiro. In the last 5 Libertadores, there's been all Brazilian teams. They have.
Wait, who are they playing in this game? Who are they playing against?
Atletico Mineiro.
Okay, sorry, I missed that.
Mineiro.
Okay,
yeah.
Mineiro.
So,
Vamos
Mineiro, they're amazing. They're I mean, the Brazilian league, in terms of spending and everything, they kill everyone. I don't know. Maybe they're close to MLS number. They're just spending stupid numbers, especially for South America. Okay. These teams, you cannot get close to these teams in any other country. I thought River had a chance just because they announced the stadium, the final will be in 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗘𝗘, but we don't have the players like they do. Anyways, so we came in 3-0 loss at home in Brazil, and then we came back. Pretty much everyone knew we were gonna fucking lose. But the one thing we did not want to do is show up, also suck on the field and off the field. This is what South American teams do. They look like we're hard. Bro, look at our atmosphere, baby. You're scared. And usually it doesn't really do anything. I'm going to be honest. The other thing, to be honest, at the same time, last night, Racing in the Sudamericana, which is like the Europa League.
Yeah.
Exactly. They did kind of the same thing. A lot of fireworks, everything the same you see here, but blue. But they did win against, I don't even remember, I think a Brazilian team. So I just kind of lied there. But that's a Sudamericana. No one cares about that. Anyways, but you don't see this in Boca because
what are you
Boca,
talking about, dude?
50,000 people, 80,000 people, half a stadium, full stadium, pure sex appeal, no sex appeal. It's different.
I've been to both stadiums. La Bombonera, clear. 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗘𝗘.
No.
What? When you had a track around the field, especially when you had a track around the field, that's embarrassing.
Okay. Oh, sorry. We had a stadium built for the all-world game. It was for the Olympics. You guys can't even finish a stadium. Don't even start with Jimmy. Please.
Yeah.
We don't have time.
If anybody hasn't been down to Argentina to catch a game, you should, whether it's Copa Libertadores or not. I actually saw Boca play La Bombonera in the Copa Libertadores against Grêmio or Palmeiras. It was Palmeiras. Ooh. Yeah, it was a good match. It was a good one. And then I saw El Super Clásico. It was 1-1. It was at La Bombonera. And
oh, wow.
The game itself was kind of crap because everybody they just don't allow. Neither team wants the other one to build up a rhythm and get the crowd or whatever. So it's just foul after foul after foul after foul. It's unreal. It's unreal. And the game was a 1-1 game. And but it's more the atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going for the actual game because it's just literally fist fighting. So
yeah. All right, let's keep this moving because you and I both have to go pick up one of my kiddos. Pep Guardiola said this. I just want to talk about this with the chat. Cristiano Ronaldo, this is a real quote. Cristiano Ronaldo was a monster, and the father of the monster is Leo Messi. So if I'm doing the math right here, Kevincho, he's basically saying that Leo Messi is Cristiano's daddy.
That's maybe Papi? I don't know.
That's what I'm reading here.
And look, I just don't think Pep Guardiola misses. I think you were talking a little bit of shit about his play style.
I was not. I'm just saying. Well, what I was talking is that he completed it. He's completed the sport. Like he doesn't have anything left to prove. He can prove that you can play at a high level. Yeah. And play a certain style to achieve that level, and you don't have to sacrifice that aesthetic and that ethos to make that happen. And so I've got nothing but admiration and respect for that dude. Yeah. However, at times it does make the game a little bit boring. That's all.
Yes, I agree.
And other people try to replicate it when they're not good enough to do it, and that's not as fun.
I'm sure this quote doesn't hit that hard for some people because obviously the guy is ex-Barcelona player, ex-Barcelona coach Messi, so it's kind of like
take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
But it's true. But
okay. Well, speaking of Messi, he had a quote recently that I think is interesting. People should take a listen or read this. Lionel Messi said this: "There's a lot of passion in MLS, and this is something I was a little ignorant of because I knew about passion in basketball, baseball, and American football, but I thought football was a little less. I was very surprised. It's a very competitive league where playing away from home is difficult for all teams because each team becomes strong in its own stadium." Excuse me. "Going anywhere in the United States and seeing stadiums full of loyal fans is amazing. I was surprised because I didn't know that, and I enjoy and love what I think I'm living," which is I don't know if that's been translated the right thing because that's not the cleanest sentence.
Yeah, it's a weird translation.
Yeah, but
that last sentence, yeah. But go ahead.
What's interesting is when 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗏 came over and played for the Red Bulls. When people would ask him about the league and maybe would joke that the league was easy or a joke or whatever, he was like, "Oh, if you think it's that easy, then come over here and give it a shot." It's just not that easy of a league. There's plenty
Right.
of examples now where players come over and come in with a lot of fanfare and then just kind of sputter and don't
Yeah.
do that well. That's not everybody. Messi's numbers are video game numbers here in MLS, but it's nice to see that there's this thought process, because I think that's what everybody kind of takes away. Like, wow, that's hard for a lot of reasons. Not only in the games itself, but also just the amount of travel you have to do and the different surfaces, different climates, all types of different things that get brought into the equation, and it makes a difference. Yeah.
And do you think, I mean, because you played here, do you think if you're playing, let's say you play now in the 2024 MLS season, and you're an up-and-coming player, and now you get to play against a Messi, a Suarez, even though they're older or whatever, I feel like you're in the back of your mind, you're like, listen, I got a highlight reel here. I'm going to fucking play a perfect game against this player. My fan base is going to love me even more. It's going to get more attention from maybe scouts. I'm assuming that's what everyone's feeling. So everyone's gunning these guys, which makes sense. They should.
100%. Yeah, it's all. I mean, still, there are things that could be better. We could be more efficient. When I say us, I'm kind of speaking about U.S. soccer in general at all levels. Things could be better, but it's also still moving in the right direction. Doesn't always feel that way, and maybe it's not moving as fast as we would like. But lots of good things.
I think the last thing about this that I thought was huge is, like, I keep saying this like every day, but I watch in the mornings. I watch Argentinian ESPN, and anytime Messi talks, they obviously bring him up, right? This quote is kind of hitting right now because people are like, all right, did they make him do this, or is if he's being real? But I mean, I'm kind of getting shocked because some of them are like, maybe it is a lot more difficult than we think it is, and then they're having conversations. That's huge. Well, that is like no one brought that up before.
Right. Well, you had the old guys that used to play in the league, right? You had the 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧 and the 𝗟𝗑𝗩𝗘s and 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗪s and these old playmaking legends ultimately who were trying to say those same things. And then you have, that next year, David Beckham comes in and he starts to help shift things, make it more professional in different ways, more behind the scenes. And that really helped move the game farther along. And now that next kind of MLS 3.0 or whatever we're in, when you have Lionel Messi saying these types of things, that does show, like, holy shit, this is better and harder than I thought. Yeah, that's only a good sign. So I'm glad that the journalists down in Argentina are looking at it a little bit different. These are the little things that are going to help continue to gain the respect for the league. And then if the league gets on the same schedule as the rest of the world, that's only, I think, going to help allow it to be part of the conversation in a more meaningful way. I know there's a lot to work through on that. We've talked about it before. Yeah. All right, speaking of MLS, let's get into the playoffs because apparently everybody won 1-0 in their first game. I don't even know what this graphics all about.
This is my biggest complaint, Major League Soccer. Because you do this best of 3, then people in graphics have to be like, what the fuck do I put here? Do I have to put the tie and then you put it here? Then it still looks like these games are all 1-0. These are the games that they won. Okay, chat? And
okay.
I knew Jim was going to say that because he thinks he's funny.
So Orlando City won 1-0 against Charlotte. Actually, it was 2-0 at home. The second leg is in Charlotte. Let's just go with our predictions here. I think Orlando might do it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, then the Galaxy.
I said that before.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. But we're in leg 2 now. We're in leg 2. We're just talking about leg 2. Because if you win this one, then the series is over. If you lose it, then you're adding another, you're adding more time to your season, or you're not getting as much rest as you could. Galaxy going to Denver for leg 2. They won the first game 5-0. We're in complete control. Looked devastating, especially on attack. And I don't see how the Rapids, Djordje Mihailovic, nursing an injury, may or may not start. Even if he does, won't be 100%. Cole Bassett, another player they trust on the attacking side, also nursing an injury, won't be 100%. Even if they were, I just think the Galaxy are lights out right now. I got Galaxy in this one. You same?
Yep.
Okay, so that's today. Those are this evening's games. We got Cincinnati, who got a 1-0 win, a slender. So that actually works. The Cincinnati one works. Cincinnati actually won 1-0. And now they go into New York, where NYCFC, I don't know if they're playing in the sad Yankee Stadium because they just lost to my Dodgers. Go Dodgers. Dodgers, baby, for life.
Oh, you guys spent the most money ever. Good for you.
And so did the Yankees. So then we have Cincinnati. I don't know. I think NYCFC could get a result in leg 2. I think that one goes back to Cincinnati for the third leg, as it were. You got Inter Miami going to Atlanta and trying to make the magic happen. Atlanta usually plays pretty well against Inter Miami. I've got a coin flip on this one. I could see it going to penalties, and then who knows.
Yeah,
Where are you on that?
I love that.
You got Inter
I
Miami
think
winning that one?
I was gonna say I have Atlanta winning. I don't know if it goes to penalties or what, but I feel Atlanta. You got at home that stadium to be full. Hopefully they win.
Yeah,
They win.
yeah.
I got it.
Okay. And then Minnesota beat Salt Lake in penalties in Salt Lake. So now they go back to Minnesota. My heart says Minnesota, but there's something about Salt Lake and their coach. I play with Pablo Mastroianni, their coach, and talk about grit. That guy has grit coming out, oozing out of his pores. And he's got a team that reflects that. And I think they're going to be tough to break down. I could see that one going to penalties again, and then you're coin flipping. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Salt Lake get a result there. And then Sunday, Red Bulls. This is the big one. Red Bulls beat Columbus Crew 1-0, so that graphic actually looks okay there. Can they do it again to knock out the defending champions?
Then your whole bracket is fucked, Jimmy, because you said you got freaking the Crew owning all of it.
They have to win. They have to win. They have to win. I thought the Red Bulls were pretty good in leg one.
They were. Yeah.
And probably the better team. And then you got the Sounders who won in penalties against Houston. Though Houston, their key player, one of their like the glue to their team, the glue to their midfield, Coco Carrasquilla, Panamanian international, got a red card, lost his head a little bit, got a red card. Pretty. I don't know if it was soft. He could have kept it cooler.
Yeah.
And without him in the team, they're just different. And so I give the Sounders, who have a penchant under Brian Schmetzer in particular, the coach, of finding a way to turn it on in the playoffs with his core players. If they don't get past Houston in leg 2, it's going to be a slogfest. But if they don't, I think they go on and do it at home in leg 3. 3 legs sounds funny. So I got the Sounders, but I think Sounders maybe do it here in this one. My Houston family won't be happy about that. Okay, LAFC Vancouver. Vancouver lost 2-1 in the first game. LAFC, I could see Vancouver. Actually, I think I could see Vancouver winning game 2, but then LAFC win it in game 3. That's what I could see. That's what I'm going.
I don't know. Didn't Vancouver score in the last minute or something? I feel like LA was just dominating.
Yeah, but that's LA at home. Like Vancouver,
that's true.
They're going to put on a party. This is their last home game of the year. They're going to put on a party.
Yeah.
So also, I didn't say this before, but the fact that the games don't go to extra time, they go straight to penalties.
Thoughts?
No, I don't like it. I don't like the 3-game series.
Yes.
I don't like the 3-game series.
What? It's also like everyone complains because there wasn't a lot of goals. A lot of games went to penalties. Then like, what if all 3 games are penalties? Did the better team win? I don't know.
Exactly. That could happen in a one-off too. But if I'm the away team, that's all I'm playing for away from home. I'm just playing for penalties, baby. I'll try to score maybe a couple times, but I'm not gonna have my team go all out like Colorado. You lose in penalties, you lose 5-0, doesn't matter. Now, if you started to add those scores up, now we're talking. But all right, one last question before we let everybody go, because I need to go pick up my kiddo in like 5 minutes, and I know that Kevincho's got a hot date or something.
Yes,
okay,
I do.
so here's the question for you. This is from Andy. Andy's hopping in. What's up, Andy?
Hi.
Has Inter Miami and Messi improved the development of the league?
Ooh.
I know. That's a 30-minute question, or 30-minute answer to that question. You want to go first? Go ahead and go first.
I think the positive I've seen so far, just looking at the young guys from South America, I don't know if this is technically development, but because I'm seeing a lot more younger South Americans coming that could have just gone straight to Europe and using this as a stepping stool, which we all thought would happen, I think that's a good step. It's not a lot, but for me at least, that starts, okay, we got young guys coming up. They're going to play with other young guys that are maybe grassroots, maybe raise their levels up. That's just me. That's all I can see so far.
I think that, as we spoke about a little bit earlier, Andy, if you missed it, that Messi has brought and will continue to bring another level of credibility to the league. When you get that other level of credibility, it brings a lot more, let's say, serious eyeballs to it. And it's not just fans. Of course, he's going to bring fans, as he should. World's best player. And best of all time, in my humble opinion. But what it also does is it starts to bring in dollars in a different way. And now you have the people that fund all of this stuff looking at the game in a way that's more constructive to, okay, cool. Messi won't be here forever, but how do we create the next Messi? And can that next Messi be American? Like, what can we do to help facilitate that? Well, great. Let's take a look at the infrastructure. Great. Okay, so Inter Miami. We want to make sure they continue to be a positive force for good and have great brand recognition around the globe. How do we make that happen? Let's make sure they have a good academy. Cool. Let's make sure Messi's kids are playing in that academy. Like, how do we continue to find tethers to continue to elevate everything? My issue here in this country isn't about kids playing anymore. We have more than enough kids, super talented kids that want to play the game, want to learn the game, absorbing the game, watching the game, being students of the game. That's all happening. Where I think there's still a void is in coaching, in scouting, so talent identification, and then also kind of merging those two. We have such a thirst to win at all costs here that if you have a player on your U10 team, so you have a 9-year-old that's absolutely crushing it, because we want to win at all costs, we're not going to probably do what's best for that 9-year-old kid. If I have a 9-year-old kid that I'm coaching, I'm going to tell that and it's like a top player, I'm going to recommend that kid to try to go to the top club. Like, yes, of course, I want to win all the games that I possibly can, but we have to be player-centric first in our development, and right now it's still kind of winning first. And once that starts to change, then I think you're going to really start to see us take both big steps on both the men's and women's side. The women's game needs more infrastructure underneath, which is what's starting to happen now with the investment in NWSL and the USL Super League and all that stuff. That's all starting to happen. Actually, there was a lot of infrastructure, I'd say, at the youth level. They needed that professional infrastructure, which is now starting to get laddered up and constructed, which is great. So yeah, all that's happening. A rising tide lifts all boats, right? So with Messi coming in, that's rising the tide of interest, it's rising the tide of money, and then ultimately that'll lift all the boats that are floating in the same water. So that's what I'm going to say on that. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'm in a hot rush now because I got to go pick up my kiddo. But we're going to do this again next week. So we're going to Tuesday, there's some cracking games in the Champions League. We're going to do some watch parties around those games. Wednesday we'll do the same, and then Friday we'll come back at you. Most likely, we'll start 15, 20 minutes before the game. So come back and join us. Thank you for hanging out. If I haven't seen you in a while, it's great to see you. Thank you, chat, for being engaging. And Kevincho, it's cool you're here too, I guess.
Thank you. It's an honor.
It's an absolute honor. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Again, as Bruce alluded to before, I think Conrad 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏 is definitely a guy that has to be a major target on this play.
Number 4 for the United States. Lennon sends it in. The header, and it's into the back of the net. The United States strikes, and it's Jimmy Conrad. Jimmy Conrad finds the net. 1-0 USA. Jimmy Conrad, a late bloomer. He'll be 30 next Monday. A big goal in his career.
Well, I mean, you have such a game, a defensive game, the kind that he's had already tonight.